I often think back to when I was first diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis, and like many others, I was repeatedly told all the things I wouldn't be able to do, how much worse I would get, how much worse my flexibility would get, and how challenging this was going to be. And I felt so unmotivated at the time to want to do anything because of all this negativity. And of course, it's important to understand how serious ankylosing spondylitis is and to get started with exercise, with eating healthy, with finding the right medication as soon as you can. But I had no game plan to get started. I didn't know where to start in fitness. The things I was doing at the time, nothing ever seemed to work. Made symptoms worse. It caused me more fatigue. It caused me too much soreness. And this is something I see from a lot of you all across the globe, that it's really challenging to find out what to do in exercise, what exercises to do, how do you get going on a fitness routine after taking time off. And that seems to be the most challenging aspect of AS, is just getting started. So firstly, I tried to get rid of all that negative talk that was aimed at me in the beginning, because it caused me to think negatively about my health and my journey. It does no good. I think it's so important to have a game plan about how do we get started and how do we build in a safe manner for us that does not make symptoms worse but improves our health. And I started thinking about when I was really struggling just to get started and just to figure out ways to exercise with weights and with playing basketball and doing different forms of exercise. I tried to figure out what movements can I do today that don't cause more pain and that I respond well to. That was a really important aspect. What do I respond well to? Because many feel that soreness the next day from a routine that might feel good during it. A lot of people feel soreness that next day that can sometimes turn into a ton of soreness in the body and more tightness in the body. So I had to be really careful about what program I did, what exercises I did, because again, I was so sick of feeling more pain after working out. So my advice today is, if you want to get going on a routine, you want to just get moving in any way you can, I always think about find 4 to 5 movements that feel good for you, that maybe you've done in the past and you've been like, oh, these feel pretty good, but I don't know what else to do with them. I don't know how many repetitions to do. I want you to find 4 to 5 movements that feel good. For myself, the things I kind of focused on in the beginning was I used a lot of support. So maybe I was doing a squat with a chair where I was resetting the body and moving really controlled and slowly in perfect form. Maybe I did a calf raise holding on to a chair. Maybe I did a push-up, but an elevated push-up against a tabletop or against a chair, so a little more support, joint friendly. So I found movements that felt good for me. And my repetition range, I was not forcing things to extreme fatigue. I was just doing things that felt good. It wasn't about exhausting the muscles. In the beginning, it was just about getting movement going in a way that felt good. So I wasn't worried about pushing it to the limit. You know, a lot of people will tell you, you can't build muscle unless you push to fatigue. You can't do this unless you really push yourself. That's fine over time, but I strive everyone in the beginning to take a little slower approach so you can build a little consistency in the program and you can make sure you respond well to it. So like I was saying, I did a squat with a chair, I did a push-up elevated, less tension on the body, I did a calf raise, which seemed to just cause no joint pain. I could work on just building the calf muscles. Maybe I carried some weights around and did a farmer's carry, something that felt pretty joint friendly for me. And once I found those 4 to 5 exercises, and I found those repetitions that worked for me. So maybe I did 6 repetitions of the squats, it just felt good. Maybe I did 10 repetitions of the push-up. Maybe the calf raise felt pretty good, so I did 10 to 12 repetitions. I stuck to that program for a while. I didn't mix it up. I stuck to things that felt good. So I stuck to the same thing for a couple weeks, maybe a month or two, and I kept responding well to the workout, and over time I was able to do more repetitions. I was able to focus on form a little bit, and that became my goal with getting started with this. Find any movements that work for me and do a longer kind of build it up in a longer way before I altered things, and then you can start to see, all right, my body responds to these type of movements, and then you can start progressing things. So if you're looking for a way to start, find those 4 to 5 movements, 3 movements. It can be anything is what I'm trying to say. You can use any method, resistance bands, body weight exercises, machines. Find things that just feel good. You don't have to worry about hitting every muscle in the beginning. It's more about, let's get movement going in a way that makes sense for you right now so you can build it over time. That's where you want to start, and then we can progress things as things go further. See you next time.